Welcome back, everybody, to Tabletop Masquerade.
Ba-ba-ba-bum.
I'm your Dungeon Master, Michael, and I have our other new Dungeon Master as well, Alex. It's been a long time since we've been here, to do another Tavern talk.
Yeah, no, it's been a while. I've been excited and kind of anticipatory about the next Tavern talk.
It has been. It's been a couple weeks since we've had one, and I feel like this is where I enjoy having these talks. It's off camera, it's out of character, and we get to talk that shop, talk about the DM, talk about cool pop culture things, and we have that freedom to talk one-on-one or with three people or as a group setting. And it's also I want to really also this is where we get a lot of our viewers are enjoying this as well as the audience. You guys, we hear a lot of feedback from this is where people enjoy. And we want to do more of this stuff because one, I enjoy having these talks, doing that behind the scenes. What's the magic behind the camera and stuff. But for right now, it's you, Alex. You're DMing now.
Yeah,
you're DMing some of our. We just finished our third episode of your campaign.
Literally
that you built
session 3. Yeah,
from the ground up. What was that like?
Man. I don't know. It's hard not because it's hard to do, but hard because there's no limitations and there's so many options and different ways you can go about it. And for me especially, I think it's been discussed on the podcast before, the differences in DMing styles.
Yeah.
Specifically between you and Michael and me and how we are. And I think you hit the nail on the head where I'm very detailed. I like to have
very detailed.
A lot of things kind of planned, and I try to be logic based in that sense of okay, if X happens, what's Y and Z correspondingly? I like to have that. So it was hard, but it was definitely a labor of love because it was man, I have so many ideas. How do I pack it all into a good, cohesive package for you guys to experience and explore? And how do I want this to go for you guys? And it's been awesome, man. It's been really awesome. I've loved every step of it.
Oh, it's been great. I'm having fun. I get to be a player again, and just completely off the rails. And so does Michael. And we got new faces at the table. We got Kellen, Caitlin, and Nick as well.
Caitlin's a first timer too.
Caitlin's a first timer as well. And
isn't this Kellen's first campaign in person or something like that?
His last campaign or his last group, I think, started that way, and then they moved into virtual tabletop.
Gotcha.
And then it ended up I think his group kind of devolved in a sense. I don't know if they're still playing, but Kellen and I have been talking for years about trying to get him in, and our work schedules just clashed. It just didn't work out right. And now we're both in a position where it's okay, I've been wanting to bring him to the table.
Nice.
And now we're in a position, now we're doing our secondary campaigns and one-shots and stuff that let's bring Kellen on board. And Caitlin, this is her first campaign, so she's learning and she's doing good.
She's amazing at it.
Awesome.
It feels like she's done this before.
So
the
much.
way she's playing her character, and she's always I'm sorry for asking questions. No, you're asking the right questions though. Is can I do this? How do I go about it? Right? And when I ask her something about her character, she's in her character.
She knows it.
Yeah, she's corrected me a few times. Go ahead and make a perception check. Well, is it shiny? My character only notices shiny things. I'm I have to remember that.
Very true to her backstory. And who her character is, which is good. That's what that's that whole. And I try to incorporate it when I'm a character and doing roles where it's just I don't think my character, and I'll roll and I'm tell me the worst case possible. I don't want to know. This is not what my character would know. For instance, the whole God thing that you're doing. I know there's one God, and I know there's an existential crisis that I'm going through, that I'm finding out there's more than one. Give me disadvantage on everything possible on these type of things.
You're playing your character really well, too. I love the challenge of, again, Caitlin's great at playing her character. Michael is really playing his character out well too, and it's really putting me in positions where I'm what would your character do?
Yeah.
And really reflectively, what would my NPCs or characters do as well?
Exactly. Nick's doing a great job. He's bringing in a whole nother phase too.
Yes.
And he's getting real heavy into the RP as well.
Yeah, and he's playing such a unique character. I was not kidding when I said I really don't know a lot about your character. I want to know more. It's an intriguing and an interesting build.
We have another owl at the table too. For the audience, with with Whispers in the Grove, we've talked about how this is the second campaign.
Second chapter, yeah.
Before it was, we were in a Halfling Town Green Song. Michael's first character at the table was an owl, Saren, and he was a
twink owlin.
There was one moment where he had his twink moment. Was what I guess we're calling it.
Was he a? Are you talking about class? Was he a?
He wasn't a monk. He was a. He wasn't a sorcerer. He was a druid. So he was a druid.
Constellation druid.
That's what it was. He was a druid, and now we have it. We kind of thought about talking about RPing that they're brothers. So Nick and Michael are actual brothers, and then their characters would be brothers. So it would be a real fun twist behind it.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, but Nick's like killing it. Like his RPing is getting into it heavy. And when Caden was here with us, they were just meshing off each other.
Yep.
Caden's voice threw me off. It's not that like it's like kind of cringy. It was like I think he went in. I had no expectation of what his.
It came out of nowhere, and it was not what I expected.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, these are the moments that I love. I love when it happens. You're just like everybody at the table has these raw, like hilarious moments. But let's going back to your campaign and you're building it. I wanted to see, kind of pick. Don't tell me details. Don't tell the audience details.
He does at the end. Spoiler alert.
Oh no!
Also, you meet his father. His name is Darth Vader. No.
No, we have to cut off his hand. Like, there's so many things we have to do. But how was it when you were building your campaign? So, like, with this, it's like I've talked to other DMs and I've seen there's like other shows, YouTube videos when you're building your campaign. I've given some of my tips personally, but what was it like for you? Because you're homebrewing this entire thing.
Yeah.
You've built it from the ground up. The world, the maps, the characters, the NPCs, religions, cultures, everything. You built like from the ground up. What was that kind of journey like?
I think this was a unique one for me. One thing that I try to do in any of my campaigns, honestly, is I try to figure out what's the best fit for my audience, namely the players.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so working from that backwards, it was more of what sort of situations, like, because this is a very diverse group. Kaylin's brand new.
Yeah.
You and Michael are very, veteran players. We've got a bunch of different skill levels and play types and experiences with DM or D&D across the table. So with this, it was how do I make this interesting for both someone who's new and someone who's played this before? And really, I think for me, the most enjoyable puzzles or challenges, it isn't the big bad guy. It's a mix of storytelling and lore, but also I don't want to railroad you. Essentially what I want to do is put you in a moral conundrum of what is the right thing to do here? Is there a right thing to do? And so when I think of it as that of, okay, if I'm trying to give you a what side of the argument are you going to take? Cool. I've got that goal in mind. I want you to have to pick, Mass Effect. Do you kill all, do you continue with the genophage or do you actually get rid of it?
Yeah,
right?
There's that kind of moral compass of where you're going to go. Do you go into this Paragon? Do you go Renegade?
It's a very complicated argument of the one to save many or many to save that one who you happen to know, right? When I thought of that situation, then I started building around that of, okay, what's an appropriate context for this? Culturally, what would happen if I put it into this kind of setting or this kind of culture with these people involved? Is it a sole person in charge who's ego-driven, or is it a group of people who are saying this is the this is the way to, real-world application? Aztecs believed in sacrifice because it was for the betterment of the greater good.
Culturally, that's what they believe.
Yeah. So how do I create a culture around that so that you have to get into that conundrum? And then what is the history of that culture that led it to there?
Yeah.
What is the landscape like? That's the reason why this culture believes that, maybe, right? How does that play into it? And just building backwards that way.
From there. Yeah. So that's good. I like that. Because already you've given us, and personally me, so many moments already where my character's beliefs are being questioned, and at the same time, I'm having real world emotions to your NPCs and real world emotions to how we're going through the world. And my character Zircon, is very much from the sticks, very, very small, sheltered town. Knows there's the world, knows nothing about the world.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going through, like I said, existential crises of every single moment of like
learning
what is a war.
Yeah.
No idea what war is. It's that's how cold, like
how isolated
it is.
Yeah.
So, and then like your NPCs, like having genuine like, fuck that guy. I do not like this guy. And then like the guy, okay, that guy's actually not so bad now anymore because I hate this guy way more. So
freaking Gary is what you're talking about?
Gary. And now I'm like, you know what? Gary's not so bad.
Right.
He's not a bad dude. But the other guy?
Daedalus.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's my character from Mike's Two Shot.
Yeah, and I went right over our head.
We played it once,
Yeah.
and I never really revisited it, but the name, I was like, I wonder if y'all will catch on that or not.
We've thrown so many names at the table
that's true.
already.
That is true.
It's hard, and that's where I'm like...
I even gave you guys fake names for some of these characters.
Yeah, and like, even in my campaigns, and I try not to fault it, because before I used to be like, you know, we played over a year, I'll be like, okay, here's a piece of information I gave you at like the first month, and a name, and then 10 months later...
comes back.
I come back, and I'm like, this person comes back, and it's just blank stares.
Like Glitter?
Glitter. No, Glitter, so that was a moment where it was like, she had a very pronounced moments. So we know who Glitter was.
Okay.
We had our time with her. It was like, oh, we want her to do good. We had memories of her. But when I said like, I don't want to have spoilers in here.
No spoilers.
But no spoilers. But there's like not so much player like NPCs, but there's like information I gave you so early on, and then it didn't happen. Like no one capitalized, so I'll mention it again a little while.
Oh.
And then I have to be like, I can't fault you for that because one, we do play over so long, and we do play every other week on that.
Yeah, and that space in between.
So there's times where I'm like, I have to remind you guys, and I'll even say to you, I'm like, this is something you know, and you've heard it multiple times, or I have to put emphasis on the way I explain. And I think you're doing a great job of like having these moments where I'm like trying to recall information or my emotions of how I felt in that moment and keep it into this moment. Or like, you know what? I do remember being pissed off about that one thing. But you are a lot more detail oriented than personally I am with all this stuff. So like when I do my campaign building, it's very broad. And I build in the moment. Like most of the time I'm improvising.
And you do it very well.
I improv probably 90% of the time.
You do it very well.
Thank you. And it's very much like I've done it where I've built so much detail, and then we don't go through it, or you guys go left. And
yeah.
I spent 3 weeks building this whole part, and I'm like, oh, I guess we're not going to that. And now I just do like milestones. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. If we miss this, cool. Blah blah blah. All this other stuff.
Kind of like what was it? CC Robot, or who's that old wizard that Wes?
Shinebright.
Shinebright, yes, Shinebright. When he's supposed to be a one-shot thing or something.
Yeah. That whole thing was a one-shot. We had a one-shot in our first campaign with the Green Song Bloodstone Calamity, and it was at the time when we had multiple players out for a session, or 1 or 2, and we wanted to not have them miss the story. We would throw a one-shot, same story, it was the same setting, but we're doing a one-shot. And I had like whatever spoils you got, you kept. And the whole Shinebright one-shot, which is a very famous one-shot of, you know, the talking sheep, and you go to the wizard's tower, blah blah blah, all this other stuff. It's a great one-shot, and it encompasses so much: RP, mystery, combat. Anybody who's a new DM out there who wants to run a one-shot, go look that up. That's a great one. But I wanted to build it into the campaign at the same time, so I didn't care about Shinebright. I cared about the NPCs or characters that I built as the bad guys in there to be NPCs, and that's what ended up happening. Mm-hmm. Actually, that's false. What happened is we left that, and then at the end of the session, we left it. We missed all of that big CC Robot, CC Puppy, which became very integral NPCs. And then once we came back next session with the whole group, we were like, actually, no, we want to go back to that. I was like, all right, so now I got to backpedal.
That's right.
I got to backpedal into it. But yeah, they ended up becoming really big NPCs who had their pivotal moments of emotion.
Yes, yes, it tore Wes up inside.
It tore him up. So this character, this NPC, was this little robot that was the happiest-go-luckiest guy that just wanted to be helpful. And Wesley, who plays Picolius, had a fond attachment to him. And there was a moment where in that campaign, this was like months later, where CC Robot was at a point of dying. We found out that he had information locked in his own memory.
Yes.
That he didn't know that there was a chance that you could unlock it. There was a moment that happened where you can now find out pivotal information to the campaign, to the big bad.
Mm-hmm.
But if you did that, he's going to be reset forever. Like he ceases to be that robot ever again. All this person that you love, very much Wall-E moment.
Yep. I think it was a moment where you let Wes, or you let Spicolius roll to see if he could do this effectively without losing his memory. And he just did not roll well. And it was like, oh shit, we just wiped his memory.
Yeah, you ended up bringing him back, is what it was. I think actually it was the opposite. I think Wesley, I set the scene to that where he's like, if I fuck this up, we're fucked. Not even we're fucked, I'm fucked. Because CC Robot's gone. And I even played it where it was like the RP in it where it's just like, it's okay. Like he's talking to him like, it's okay, I understand. It was very sad. Mm-hmm. Like, you can let me go type thing. And that was a hard moment for me too. I got teary-eyed in that moment.
Because you put so much into that NPC and that character, and we had so much backstory and history with them. Mm-hmm. And I understand, like, Spicolius, Wes, really got attached to CC Robot and CC Puppy. And so that risk, it was like, is it too much? Like, without this information, we can't really continue with the campaign. But at the same time, if we don't get it, CC Robot lives.
I had it where if you failed, it still would go on.
Okay.
But you guys didn't get critical information. At the time, I forget. I think about it now, I forget what that information was. But it was something to do with the whole Bloodstones.
Yeah.
And
it was like he knew where it came from.
How many there were.
How many or something like that, yeah.
Or where the last one was hidden. I forget what it was. But yeah, those are the moments I love. But you're doing these moments where I question my morality almost every session. And one thing that we do off camera, we have opening questions, which I introduced in Whispers.
I thought that was a great idea, by the way.
So what we do, it's very much like pre-session. This is a off camera. We want to get it on camera eventually, just every now and then. But it's I ask a question to your character, not to you as a player, but as the character. It'd be like, what is Silk? If he sees a like what are not so much his morals, but it could be simple questions. It's
like a hypothetical situation or something about Silk. Like, what is Silk's worst memory or favorite memory? Or
like what was what is Silk's favorite food? What is it can be very simple things. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite fondest memory of your childhood?
Yeah.
And it helps you get back into character to be at the table. But two, it also helps me. Because now I know more backstory of you. I'm like, cool, your favorite color is blue. You might see a lot of blue things that are bad. And now that's going to mentally drain you.
Mess with you, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good for us as the players too, because it does help us kind of flesh out who is our character.
Yeah.
You know, things that I didn't think of, like what is their favorite color, what is their favorite food. Once you kind of pick on that and you've made that decision, well, now you have to come up with the story of why. And that helps kind of flesh out more of their background and more of who they are.
Yeah.
And it's a good exercise. I really love that you do that.
And then you turned it into, you asked very deep, morally challenging questions. Like, I think the one before our session 3 that we just ran, you asked questions where most of the players couldn't answer.
No, yeah, there's a couple that were like, I have homework now.
I don't even know. Like, how is my
like, what did I
character-
ask you? I asked you, what is Zircon's,
not inspiration, but aspirations?
yeah, what is your aspiration? Like, what are you trying to do with your life?
Yeah. And Zircon had an answer, but it was very much like we had to kind of talk it through.
Yeah, because there was some of your backstory that played into it of,
Mm-hmm.
well, the goal now or the idea of what I'm supposed to do with my life has changed because
Yeah.
of this experience. And now I'm not too sure if that's my goal anymore. You know?
Yeah, she's very lost right now. Emotionally, familiar-wise, or family-wise, or religious-wise, like very lost and being challenged right now.
A big chunk of your identity is kind of being not taken,
Uprooted.
but uprooted.
Yeah.
Uprooted, yeah.
Everything you believed in and like cared for is gone, and you were supposed to be in charge of it, and now what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And the more we get into your campaign, I think the more that's going to come to light, which I'm excited because no one else at the table knows as well.
No, and you have such a good backstory.
And
My gosh.
That's the problem with me. I'll go deep into it and I'll build my characters with like very deep rooted backstories of like, this is why they are what they are. It's like, okay, why is your steed a water buffalo? Because that we didn't have horses, we had water buffalo. We had a fond attachment to them. They helped farm. They were part of the family. And this is Audor. This is like my brother that I grew up with.
But it tells me more about your character's culture and background. And I actually, as a DM, I appreciate that you do that. That is something that I tried to do with Silk in your campaign.
Yes.
Because you told me that there were newer players in there too. And I feel like it helps to kind of give them an example of somebody who's getting into character, someone who's kind of given a backstory or a background to that character so they have things they can reference or things that they can pull from before. Like, actually, no, my character would know this because XYZ happened to them.
Yeah.
You know, instead of just saying, I have this ability, you have a reason for why you have that ability.
Why are you strong in this? Why are you so perceptive?
Yeah, or like, why are you good at this? Why do you have such a good history check? Like, yeah, you might have +5, but why?
But why? Exactly.
Oh, you grew up in a scholarly environment, or you happen to grow up in a culture that believed in that god or something. Like, that's awesome. Good to know.
This is where you turn the numbers on your paper into story.
Yeah, and real world, you're showing the newer players this is kind of how far you can take it or how in depth you can go with it. And this is where the fun part comes. It's, you know, once you've learned, okay, I have to roll this dice or I have to add this number. I know what a modifier is. I add it to this.
Exactly.
Now you're getting the fun part of who is my character? Why am I here? This is the weird twist of me, right? Like, that's one thing I've noticed about Michael. Is all of his characters have an interesting twist to them that makes them very unique from each other, very distinct. And it's always, oh, interesting. You're playing this, like when he was playing Bubbles.
Bubbles, very happy-go-lucky, like run around. Oh my god!
Very different from Saren,
Very different.
who is
from
also
Saren.
very different from Kare, who is worlds apart from Scribe.
Yes.
And it's, I don't know if people catch on to this. Hopefully they do, but the newer players, I'm hoping they see this and go, wow, let me try that with my character.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed we started using accents, and more people have started doing it. Like Caden in my campaign now with the accent, I'm like, I'm glad. And that makes me so happy.
It helps a lot. And like the whole aspect of like, because it's just us three, is you, me, and Michael will see the most of it because we're the ones that flip flop between our campaigns and one shots, and we're seeing the characters' differences. The other players aren't seeing it as much because they're only locked in your campaign. They're locked into my campaign. But the audience, you may see that like when we RP, it's different. There's so many different ones. Pablo, the Warlock, Turtle, very much happy. I'm okay with the way things are going. Very slow. Varen is very chaotic in the moment. Doesn't think of anything's a good idea or a bad idea. It's just the idea. It's just... Varen's one of my more favored ones, but Zircon I built to be innocence.
I get that. I get that a lot.
The whole point of her is the innocence of, if we took that small town child and threw her into the big world, what is it like? Because a lot of D&D parties, it's very like chaos. It's very much, I'm good at this, I know this, and all this other stuff. And Zircon is that, I have no idea. Not so much like I'm dumb and stupid and like wisdom's low. It's like she's smart. She's very perceptive.
Just not very street smart or world traveled.
She just doesn't have an experience of the world.
Yeah.
And it's knowing how most D&D campaigns go, there is that chaos part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I introduced her into that questioning moral of the party of like, someone's stealing. Why would you steal?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you steal from someone else? Like, either you get the service, you buy the service, which she has no idea what buying is. It's all about trade. Or of like, your father got sold you. Like, who would do that? Or of like everybody has like trauma backstories, and I'm like, are you okay?
Right. Everybody else is like, this is normal, this is life, and you're just like, I can't believe it. Why?
Why?
Why would you do that?
So she's innocence. She's innocence incarnate.
I will say I see the theater background now, because I think it's fair to say you, me, and Michael are probably some of the more experienced players at this table. But I think you specifically, you have very different personalities with each character.
Yeah.
I go back and I actually rewatch these videos on our YouTube channel, and I watch me and I go, I've kind of played the same character a few times, or I feel like I've played the same idea of a character, just a little different flavor.
A little twist.
Yeah, and I'm, for the next character concepts, if I ever change character for some reason or try one in a new one shot, I've been inspired by you in a sense to, let me try something different.
Yeah.
Let me be a different facet of me, in a sense of which one is this, right?
Yeah. I think, so I'll ask you, because I do this pre-sessions, is do you do anything pre-session to get into character? Besides, we do the questions, but you on a personal level, before you even get to the table, do you do anything prior? Do you do any sort of mental exercises or anything like that?
I think my first thing is I rewatched last episode.
That
so I'm caught up on what
recounts,
happened.
yes.
And what was the context, or what is the environment, like emotionally, that we're entering, right? Like, if we're in the middle of a fight, okay, yeah, my guy needs to be, like, we're in the middle of it, right? So that's the
Kind
first
of
thing.
hype yourself into it.
Yeah, versus if we're in the middle of investigating, okay, my character is more in an investigative mode. Like, I'm going to channel my inner Batman now.
Yeah.
I think for me mentally, though, what I try to do is I think of my character and who he's kind of based off of, like, the influences. And I try to get into that aspect of it. I think I've explained Silk is kind of a mix of like Ezio Auditore
Yes.
from Assassin's
We get that.
Creed.
Definitely get that vibe.
Yeah, with a mix of like Tony Stark from the Avengers, of I'm the playboy kind of out there guy. And then the way I tie it all together is with the James Bond element of I'm like this to your face.
Yeah.
Because behind closed doors, I am this guy.
There's a
instead.
facade.
Yeah, so there's a very two-sided part to Silk, and so it's really for that session. What's the setting? Cool. Which one of those characters or facets of Silk am I going to be? Let me get into that mindset of cool. If I feel like I am Ezio today, this is how I'm gonna be.
And that's something like I want to make sure we're capitalizing on, because I'm noticing it. And I don't know if anybody else is in the audience, and this is not a spoiler, but there is masks to Silk. There is masks to Silk. And there's different, not personas, but like, I guess almost like face personas, I guess is the right word.
Yeah, I think that's, you kind of nailed it with that one. Because especially with my teammates, the party.
Yeah.
They will ask me things, and I think they think,
a lot of it goes right over their heads.
Oh,
I see it too.
It's exciting for me though, because I'm like, you have no idea how much of my backstory I have fleshed out for you guys.
And we've hinted at it, and it's come into light every now and then. But I love it because it's going over people's heads, because that is the character. That is the moment. That is Silk.
And that's a hard character to play. I will be honest. That is a very hard character to play. I've been on the fence about continuing with him, because sometimes it goes over the rest of the party's head. I'm like, maybe I've gotten too deep into this of how secretive he is that they don't.
That is definitely a problem where it's like,
if I give them nothing, there's nothing for them to grab onto.
That's part of my responsibility as a DM to kind of help bring these moments to light, to challenge you, and then it's going to also enlighten. It is a spoiler to the party, but there's moments like it has to happen, because if it doesn't, it's never going to happen. And being a player, you might get locked into like, I'm so secretive, and I can't wait for this moment to come out, but we get so stuck in being the secretive side
that you never do anything.
It never happens. It never will come out. And that's part of as a DM to challenge these moments, to have these moments come out. I have to force it to come out. So like with Zircon, it's like I'm very much that secretive, but I have to force like, oh, this is my kind of like she has a very deep backstory of trauma and other things that happen. And I may never personally say it, but if I don't say some things about it,
nobody else will
no
know.
one else, it will never come up.
That's the hard thing.
Never come up.
Because like in real life, if you have that kind of trauma, I think some people naturally keep it in.
Yeah.
And the only reason they reveal it is if it's somebody that becomes very close to them, right? Whereas in D&D, you're always sidetracked with what is the main goal of the campaign,
and
right?
We only
like
have 2-3 hours to play.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're already like moving ahead. What's the main goal?
And I know it's only been 3 sessions, but I'm already struggling with, maybe I need to just have a campfire session where you guys just talk. Yeah. I do nothing because you guys need to learn who each other is. And that's the stuff that would naturally happen in real life. Yeah. But in a D&D campaign, it's like, is that exciting though?
You have really to want it.
Yeah.
You have to force it to happen. Even that has to be on both players and DM, Dungeon Master, Game Master side. Like what I do for characters when I warm up, I do have a warm up.
Oh, I'm interested. I want to know what this is actually, because you play your characters well.
A lot of times I'm kind of, if people hear me when I'm alone, they would think I'm crazy, because I talk to myself. I talk to myself as if I'm talking to somebody else, like I'm talking to a camera. And I do this a lot, and it helps me think. It just helps me work through some things on a personal level, as Michael. But then when I'm like warming up for characters, like today, I'm in the truck driving home. I'm going to the gas station to pick up some drinks. I'm talking, but I'm talking as Zircon. And I'm warming myself up into that whole of like the innocent side of like, well, Zircon's kind of aloof. She's kind of uppity. The way that she talks is very much as if a child talks. And I'm a dad, so I have a young child. She's in an age now where she's talking, and I'm basing a lot of the stuff that the way she talks. So I do have some sort of like
context or like understanding of how
some research baggage that I can experience that I can put into it. And a lot of it is there's a lot of this aloof innocence where everything's so happy. So the way that Zircon talks, it's very questioning. I'm questioning life. I have my own moral beliefs, and then I start incorporating my body movement into it. The way that she talks, if you'd ever notice the way that Zircon talks, when she talks to you, she goes and faces you. So when she talks to the players, she'll go and face you, and it's like my full attention's to you. And then I go and I turn to another way, and she's very, very like open with her movements. Where Varen is very kind of hunched back, and he's very kind of like skittish. He's all over the place, and he's talking like this. And I start doing my own warm-up questions to myself, as if like, oh, this person just cut me off in traffic, but now Zircon's dealing with it. Now Varen's dealing with it. Now Pablo's dealing with it. Or Pablo's just like, okay, well, he probably has somewhere else to be, and
Pablo.
He's got another place to be, and maybe it's very important. He might have a medical emergency, or Varen's just like, fuck that guy, I'm gonna fucking kill him, and I'm gonna run him over the road. And Zircon just very much is like, I don't understand why someone would go off and do something like that. And that's kind of like my personal pre-warm-ups.
I like that.
And I do it with DMing as well with some of the NPCs, because I forget how I role play this character, and I have to go back and watch our videos. And I'm like, because
there's a lot of
NPCs. So it's like, especially the important ones, like really the hardest NPC for me to run in our campaign's Petal, because she's evolved so much, and I have to kind of go back to remember of like, she used to be the stripper at this club that she was held against her will, but now she's this mature woman.
And she's free to speak her mind, and
but
now
she's the hardest out of all our NPCs for me
because she's got a lot of conflict that she has. So and how do you act that?
And now she's this almost a leader, and now she's having to act as this mature leader.
Yeah.
But relies on you so much as the party. This is like the closest thing that people have helped her out of her, like almost family. And now she's with her family she hasn't seen in so long. So it's like acting that out. Finya is real easy.
A-Rag, I feel like, is super easy.
A-Rag is pretty easy as well. He's just this. He's the jock. He's the jock on the football team. What's up, bro? Like very much that jock.
Silk will charm him, don't worry.
There's other NPCs that I find very easy to kind of get into. The father of
Grove Magnala.
Grove Yinfale.
Ooh, Grove Yinfale, yeah.
He's just this, like, if a dad was a stay-at-home dad.
No, yeah, I get that vibe.
Much,
yeah,
he's very simple. There's some NPCs that are real simple, but Petal is so integral to the campaign. It's hard to play her because she's aged with everybody. So I have to think of her as her own player.
Oh yeah,
I have to think of her as my own player in it. That's also aged as well.
That's hard to do too. I've had.
Just wait, it gets worse.
Oh,
it gets worse because if your campaign goes longer and you're at like 7, 8, 9 sessions, and then I'm like, well, how's Finn doing? I want to talk to Finn, and then you're like, fuck, what was Finn like? The guy that we just completely disregarded. And now everybody's gonna think about him that he's important.
Well, I'm fortunate because with these NPCs specifically, these 4, Gareth, Ilana, Finn, and Aldrich. Now you know their real names. I gave them very distinct personalities specifically, and I wanted them all to be very different from each other.
That's good. It's good to separate.
Yeah, but you guys have already challenged me. Like when you guys hated Gary and suspected him, I was like, dang, maybe I played him wrong. Maybe I'm not effectively in the mindset of Gareth, and I'm trying to like force feed it to you guys, as opposed to letting it happen organically. When you force feed, I'm realizing, oh, you guys can take it this way, and I see why that would make sense. Until you understand what I know, right?
So when we say that you play him wrong, like you designed the NPC, and this is a lot of time the party's fault because we pick up on social cues that you give that are not your intentions. So this is where you have to remember you can't plan for what the party's going to do and how they're going to feel emotionally. So it's not so much think of it as like, oh, I played this character wrong. It's gotta be in a sense where it's this character is now evolving as well with you. So with the party. So it may not be so much playing Gareth wrong. It's okay, I played him as this because this is the way he sees himself. But now I'm dealing with another party, another entity, another person who does the thing. You might be the nicest person in the world. You might think that, and everybody else around you. But there's that one person that's like, that guy's an asshole.
Skeptical, like, why is he so nice? He's too nice. Nobody's nice like that.
He's deceptive.
Yeah.
I don't like the way he puts his socks on today. Like, that's the things that one bad person is going to pick up on. Doesn't mean that you are acting in front of that person wrong. It's just who you are. And then now you might have to act differently in front of them. So that's the way that as a DM you're doing your NPCs is you might just have to play it a little differently with a different group or a different setting, different party members.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So I don't think that Gareth was bad in the first place. I was skeptical of him for separate reasons, and then it's just because of the setting.
Once you realize and everything's come out,
okay,
it's like,
not so bad. My emotions have calmed down, and now I hate someone else. Like that's where I was like, okay, you know what? He's not so bad. He's not so bad. But I think you do a good job of that, and it definitely helps change that direction of where we're going. Also, the sense of where we need to go. It's very. You kind of help us keep us on that line of like, because we've already kind of almost railroaded and gone left, but we kind of like have to stay into it, and that's also my recommendation for players out there, going left and railroading and like there's points where you probably will know what your DM's planned. Just go with it. Like go with what they did. They designed it. They built it. You put your blood, sweat, and tears on it.
Yeah.
And if you get so much where I'm like, well, my character wouldn't do this, and I'm gonna go left, it takes some of the enjoyment out of the campaign. Because one, I'm playing your campaign. This is something you built. This is your love and passion. It's not fair for me to be like, well, my character doesn't like this. I want to go kill that guy and go over here into this next shiny thing. And we're like, well, you just spent a week, 2 weeks, months building this,
preparing this,
won this moment, and I don't want to do it. Like, that's not fair to you.
That's true, yeah.
So as a player, is also like, go into the DM's plan. Like, there's points where it's like, okay, I see it now. All right, I may not do it that way, but fall into the traps. Do into the certain things. See where it goes, because I guarantee you, you're going to get more out of it narratively and experience, because that's what he planned for or she planned for it, and you're going to get more fulfillment out of story-wise out of that.
Instead of avoiding every trap, sometimes poke it. See what happens.
See what happens. And then you're not backpedaling as a DM, and you're improvising everything, especially if you don't have that experience of like the way that I go about it, where it's just like everything's just completely improv from the start. It's easier if you go in that sense. But there's still points where it's like, I kind of want you guys to be able to do this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've also, between you and I've designed this so that this is kind of like, if it's a big video game set, this is the intro. This is giving you, like, the goal of this right now is to give you, here's the state of the world. Here's everything that you need to know essentially about this world and how everybody, all the different elements are interacting. So it is a little railroady because I do have where you guys are supposed to go.
Yeah, that's fine.
But the goal is once you get there, the rest of it is up to you guys where you take this. Welcome to chapter 2. What do you want to make it?
Yeah, and be surprised with that how much you're still guiding. Because even in Whispers, I say you have this freedom to do whatever you want. And I've kind of toned back a bit on that in a sense where you do have a lot of choices. And I do let you do your freedom, do whatever you want.
But you're also good at reminding us, like, hey, here's a calendar.
Yep.
If you want to do this, understand that all these things are going to change because you can't just say that they're static or nothing happened. Like, something's happening. Just be aware.
And I'm not throwing so much at you where it's just like, but I'm giving these points where now it's like you have choice A, B, and C.
Oh,
you do one of those, and the other two, something's going to happen.
And it's so hard because I think everybody in the group has a different idea.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, man, what do we do?
So this is my job now to kind of pick and choose of like where people favor more, and I'm going to highlight that one more. And then that's the one I'm going to go with more. So like with this one, we change. Whispers has changed with the way you guys are progressing in your goals. So, okay, we got to the grove with the dragons. That was the big goal. Okay, now we're going to do all this dragon shit. And now it's like, okay, well, now there's a cult thing. Now I kind of want to do more. And that was there already. And now you're like, well, I want to kind of do more of this stuff now. I'm like, cool. Dragon shit might still be going on.
Damn. And we've got the stuff with the ARAG and the Kelp Sea stuff.
You got this cool, fucking awesome looking dagger. There's this cult-like thing that's going around killing shit that we're finding that's from Grove Magnala.
Yep.
Well, not from, but was in Grove Magnala as well. Now there's this whole fucking arch-druid thing that just took you into his house.
Yes, that's right.
There's a whole different thing on
yeah.
that, too.
We've still got a war going on.
Yeah, and there's still a whole other grove that's being actively sieged.
And at the same time, Silk has to get back to Grove Silk. Meet up with Bay. And,
Bay Silk.
Start working on his magic stuff over there.
But we're now hinting at the personal stories.
Yes. Okay. I'm so interested in Ala right now.
Yeah, and we're actually doing like two people's backstories at once. And one of them is being forced, not by my own choice.
Oh.
Someone is bringing out, unintentionally is bringing another person's backstory in. Or, like, personal quest.
Ooh, okay.
And now I'm like, okay, so we're actually in currently like 2. Well, actually, that's a lie. We're actually in like 3 personal quest lines.
I think I have an idea.
It's
Kare, Aloe, and Flinris. No.
One of those is wrong.
Spicolius.
There's you could keep guessing. I'm gonna tell you. It could be actually 2 of them, or actually could be wrong. Actually, now I think about it.
Kronk.
No, it's actually Baron.
Ooh, okay.
Baron has a personal quest line.
Dang, I didn't think about that.
Baron has a personal
Dang.
quest line in it too. So does Finia. So does Petal. So does all of them.
Dang.
They all have their own personal quests involved as well.
Baron's such an interesting character.
I love Baron. Baron was a joke character that I have fallen in love with. He is the best thing I think I've got inspiration. He's not even my own idea. I got it from online, and I just turned him into something else.
I think our party has really gone with it too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you acted out very well, so he's a very compelling character.
Yeah. That's the other part. So you find the NPCs that you latch onto, and we just kind of get there. I forced Varen, though. Varen was part of the story. So I mean, like with CC Robot, CC Puppy, the last campaign, Varen's a big part of this story as well.
This is the new NPC for Spicolius to latch onto.
Yeah, pretty much. and it's to the point where it's just like I'll have Rebecca on the side, like out of the session, out of the table at work. She'd be like, "Don't kill Varen. Don't kill Varen. Don't do that. I don't want to latch on to anybody because you're gonna go and kill him. Like that's not what I'm planning. It might happen, but we're all gonna die someday, right?"
Yeah, I mean, what happened to that sheriff guy that I killed on accident?
Oh no! So yeah, Thaddeus.
That's his name. Thaddeus.
You inspired himself to kill someone
Yes.
unintentionally.
Oh man, I don't know if that was planned or not, but that was funny.
Perfect example of persuasion can be bad. So that moment, I don't know if we've talked about this.
I think we have. We've
on the
talked about it
podcast,
before. Yeah.
Where you inspired this guy to join the fight, and you go with like a nat 20. You got
Yeah.
something super high.
I killed that roll.
And he's like, you're right. I should be in this fight. Like what my father did was bad, but I have the power to change this. I can help give a better role into the town of Greensong. I can change the cops. I can change the judicial system. I'm going to join the fight. And he jumped over a railing, naturally failed his athletics check. And the way I do my crit fails, I also roll another d20 to see how bad it is. Crit that one as well, so 2 nat 1s. And I'm like,
oh wow.
The knife you gave him, he fell on it, and he stabbed himself. And then the battle kept going on. Battle ended. We started investigating. I'm rolling death saving throws for him, and he's failing those as well.
He's dead
and then he just dies.
Oh man.
And no one had like Revivify. No one had anything at that point either.
Nope, not yet.
So now we were low level too. I think we were like 4 at that point. Yeah, we were still pretty low. And now we're 10.
Yeah, we've grown.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. And we just leveled up last campaign,
or
last session. 10. Yeah, that's right. Man, I've really fallen in love with this campaign that you've built and Silk, and I'm really excited for where this is gonna go.
Yeah, because it's a long campaign. Because it could go as long as we want it to. Mm-hmm. There's so much I've built, like the world of Elox that I built. There's an actual line campaign that I built for everybody, and it could be a 10-year campaign. It could potentially be if we wanted it to be. Now, I think there's going to be a point where we're either going to stop leveling, or it's going to slow down so much, or we have to just build new characters, and it's going to be part of it as well. We'll see. Yeah. Whenever we get to that road, there it is. But level 10's big. That's where you guys are now strong. You're powerful. You're adept. You're journeymans. You know your abilities, and you're going and fucking shit up.
I think it helps too, and what's kind of helped endear this campaign to me is the chemistry that the party has.
We do,
because I think we've played with each other enough now that we kind of all know naturally, like, this is what so and so is going to do, or this is how so and so is going to feel.
Yeah.
And it works because honestly, we all actually work for each other in a weird way.
We do.
And I think we're all pretty open to a lot as well.
I think there's one person at the table that's not in it for himself. And it's Spicolius.
Yeah.
I don't think Spicolius. Well, I think he is for the greater good. Like, very shining knight in armor. And I love that with him. Because that I build off very easily. It's very easy for me to build into that and challenge that morality in him. Same thing goes for like I'm at the point where I can challenge. I know morally where to challenge certain people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like Flinris is very much like people are in need and they're being beaten. Flinris is going to step up. Same thing with Spicoli.
Flinris really like I can tell Becca
Yeah.
is like, well, I'm gonna go fucking kill him because that's not okay. It's like, well, you feel really strongly about this NPC.
But he's just like, oh, I gotta go kill this guy now because he's going and kicking the kids down in the street, like type stuff. Kronk is like whatever's the biggest dude, go after.
Mm-hmm.
So he's even like, we've talked, like his backstory was brought up, and he's like, we're at the point where we've played for so long, people forgot their backstories because they're so integrated in the story.
Mm-hmm.
There is no backstory anymore. Like, this is the story.
See, and that's funny because I actually got the most from his Tavern talks,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't realize what his backstory was. And now I'm more inclined. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that about you. Let me talk to you in character more.
Yeah.
Because it seems like we actually might relate better than I expected.
Yeah, I think with Bloodstone, when it was the first initial group, it was me, it was David, Celine, and his girlfriend, and it was Wesley, Megan, and Rebecca, and that was it. There was just the 5 of us, and I think that's how we started it. And then we just kept growing from there. And then we introduced you. We introduced Michael. Then we introduced you.
And then Caden.
And then Caden came along, and it was at that point where there was moments where his backstory was coming up from his contacts, but you missed it because we were already so far in at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's now to the part where it's like Kronk has evolved so much from what we built from. It's also his first character. So he's played it completely differently than what he is, and to the point where he's like, I forgot that was my backstory, but at the same time, like morally, we've brought it in there still, and we're still challenging that. Where he's like, yeah, I don't think that's okay. You know, actually, I'm gonna fuck this guy up. Everybody's doing very well, and I'm very enjoying where we're at in the campaign, especially, and also your campaign too. Like, I think we're actually getting some really good group cohesion as well, where I do think that right now the face is like a combination between Kellen and Michael's character. I think those are the two of like the faces where you have Nick and Caitlin and my character are kind of like not so much the backgrounds, but we're like
looking out for everybody.
Looking out for like the other people, the little guy, and we're doing like our own thing on the side. And I think part of that is our backstories. We're not so much investigative. We don't have that big connection to the forest. We don't have the detect thoughts where Scribe is in everybody's brain, doing all this stuff. Like that, I think that group cohesion's building from there, and it's doing very well.
Yeah. From where you guys are at right now, too, especially with the setting, I love that Kellen is playing into it.
You're doing so well.
He's really playing it well, and there's a lot of moments where I'm like, you know what, your character should know this because this is where you're from. And I'm trying to do that with Caitlin too, but Kellen, or I should say, Sylvan, he's really playing into this is my goal.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to get a leg up here on this, and I appreciate that because I'm like, if that's what your character would do, that makes sense. Yeah. And I don't think you or Caitlin or Nick are background characters. I just think that given the circumstances, with how skeptical Scribe has been of everybody,
I think we just kind of been going along with it.
Yeah, because at least you guys are all kind of discovering it too. I think, especially the session we just did, was kind of a big one for you guys in terms of like lore and information of like who people are.
Investigating and stuff like that.
Yeah, did you realize like who Gary and Lana and all of them were?
I thought Lana was somebody. I didn't think if she was a niece, cool. Like I didn't disagree that they were niece or uncle. I felt that she was important, and I felt that Gary wasn't telling us something. But then I was like, okay, I didn't want to dig too much because at the same time I was like, this might be your character you built to be as this like knight kind of honorable person looking up for his niece. I didn't want to read too much into it, and then we railroad because we're so hyper fixated on that. So I was like, okay, let's kind of move forward from this type thing. And that was me as a DM kind of going into my own character, where I was like, okay, I want to see where your character is. It might not be what I'm thinking as a player or as a character. I have to kind of maybe tone it back. And
actually, I appreciated that you and everybody were really skeptical of him because you were right. He was hiding something.
Yeah.
And it made me get into his character of, well, yeah, it makes sense that he would do this. It's just not for the reason that they think, and let me play it out. How would he do it? And eventually it was the honorable side of him. He's like, yeah, I just need to tell him at this point. And that's when he went before Scribe and was like, read my mind.
Sometimes you have to force it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to force
it. And I think Gareth as a character he's very much like Spicolius in that sense too. The only difference is he's just more traveled.
Yeah.
I've written him to be a higher level than that. So he's been places he has a little bit of that wisdom now.
Definitely had that wild part of him that he's experienced.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed as well, we talk in character at the table to each other.
I was seeing that between y'all. I don't know what y'all are doing because I'm also talking to other characters, but I saw that today and I was like, oh, interesting. They're planning.
We'll flip-flop back and forth. I'll flip-flop with Michael. We just, me and Michael will gossip and do other things as well. But me and Sylvan, we will talk in character to each other. How are things going? What are you doing? Stuff like that. And it's kind of, we try to whisper while we're on camera if it's not directed at you. Mm-hmm. We try to whisper to each other just so the microphones don't pick it up. That's kind of the battle with doing a podcast, doing
with
a
multiple
show.
People.
Yeah, we're putting a show out there. So when most of us are talking, you'll hear it on microphones. We don't have an audio engineer that can auto mute us and stuff like that or lower the volume. It's all very raw and live. Mm-hmm. Same thing with me and Nick. We'll do that kind of back and forth to try to do that incorporation of conversation. But yeah, we're characters at the table. We're talking.
I love
it's
that.
And I enjoy it because me and Kellen, we will 100% talk to each other as Zircon and Sylvan.
I love that. Oh, you guys are getting so in depth. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, one we're just exploring too, and I did he's Sylvan, and that's who I see, and that's who I'm talking to. Mm-hmm. It's not I'm talking to Kellen at the table. So having that, he does very well where we sit at the table and we're those characters.
And I think it's helping me because the more into your characters you get, the more I can pour into the story to give you guys those moments of
the more you get in the story.
Yeah, because so far all you've really gotten from my story emotionally is just suspicion. Yeah. Because you're not being told the truth. And really just kind of the next part of intrigue of, okay, well, what's going on over here? Especially with the history you've learned.
Yeah, it's only been 2 days we've been together, too.
Yeah. So characters you would not know each other that well necessarily, but I have some plans for you guys where it's how well do you guys know each other? Because I'm going to test you guys as a group.
Yeah. My morals are going to be questioned. They're already starting getting questioned. You're stealing? Why are you doing this?
Right.
That's not right.
I'm excited.
And now I have to turn this blind eye
I don't approve of this, but I know it's necessary. Yeah.
I know what's happening. I'm not looking. If I'm not looking at it, it's not happening. That's where Zircon is. But I think you're doing great. I love where you're going, and I can't wait to keep seeing where it goes and do your campaign and let Zircon build up to it, and we can build the relationships more. I know Michael's talking about doing his little one-shot or campaigns as well that he wants to do.
I'm excited for that. He's got some good ones.
He does. So we have a lot in store for the audience, a lot in store for Tabletop Masquerade. We hit new subscribers. We have big views. Tavern Talk has the most views on the channel.
Surprisingly. I feel hopefully you guys are getting good help and information from this too.
Yeah, having this this whole part of Tabletop Masquerade that we've built, and the whole goal I have is we're just raw at the table having fun. Who cares about experience? Who cares about knowing the rules? Just go out, have fun, do what you need to do. And the Tavern Talks is okay, now we're talking about
the nuts and bolts of it all, and
you get to meet the players of the characters, the faces behind it.
I think you also get to learn more about that character in ways that wouldn't naturally come up in the campaign.
Exactly.
Why would Kronk say, "Oh yeah, just so you guys know, before we do this, this is my backstory"? No, that doesn't come up right there.
Yeah. or also say like, well, my backstory is this. That's so much the thing. Like I'm so like against saying this is what my character would do. Like I don't know why. To me, for my own rule, it's taboo. Like, I don't like to say this is what my character would do, or I versus say like I don't know this. This is not what I would do. Or I guess that's kind of the same thing.
Well, I think the difference is explaining it as I versus this is not what my character, like anybody can proclaim that. Yeah. But if you're in your character, you'll explain why I don't want to do this or why I disagree with this, you know.
And a lot of times I do my own inner monologues out loud. And I think you have to do that.
To let people in your mindset.
To let people know because it's... D&D is, it's raw, it's playing, and we're all having there, we're hearing everything at the same time, there's that meta, but you actually have to force the other side of my own personal meta out there. You have to force your own character meta out to the party. If you want to see that turmoil and get help or capitalize or have that flavor, you kind of have to force that meta.
And like a good example is Megan. You can see like when she's given information or you pose a question of like, what do you want to do or what do you think? You know, her character Aloe has a lot more background and context into the Grove than we do.
Yeah.
And you can see as Aloe, she's kind of working out like, You'll
see her like tilt the head.
That does make sense. I would know that. And so I think I would tell the party, she advises us against bad ideas or no, maybe this is the direction we should go because XYZ and she's explaining the context like, oh, I didn't know that. That's good to know.
So like anything that has to do with the Grove or like plants or foliage, I immediately direct straight to her.
She's killing it with this
and she does so well because like there's so many things like I say and like she just accepts it and like, oh yeah, this is a natural plant that comes from this Grove that's used very, very rare. And they used it tonics and spells and stuff. I'm like, I just told you that you knew that this is what this root was, and you're taking this further on.
Coming up with the entire background of this.
Great. I have to write all this down because now this is so important. So she does. I don't know. Like it's so well when I have that like back and forth, and like I think you do the same thing. Like what I do is you interact with everyone. You give everybody their moment of shining. So like even if you have a quiet player at the table, you're going face to face with them. You're like, well, what are you doing? What is this? And you're given that not like so much where you're posing like, okay, the group's all doing something. What are you doing? Like you give them that moment of like, this is your moment to lead.
Yeah.
To have the attention's on you, and you're doing that like well with everybody in the group.
Thank you. I think that's why I love your warm up question too, because for me as a DM. It's critical. I think, especially if you're trying to include everybody in the world, right? Like if your character is built in this world and you have a backstory, like we need to incorporate it.
We do.
And so for me, it's the more I know about your character, the more I know, your character would know this. You as a player don't because I'm the one that created the world. Kind of raining?
Oh, it doesn't rain. Door's open, so. Oh, it is the rain. Sorry. I was we have our door open right now, and I was hearing all this stuff. I was like, what is that?
I think it's raining. It should be raining. That's what the weather report said. But those warm-up questions are so critical because that helps me help you shine. If your character grew up in this area, you should know everything about this.
Gives the basis, gives you basis for it.
And like in real life, if you're familiar with something or familiar with a place, you're probably going to be the first one to step up and take the lead and say, no, we should probably do this because I know XYZ.
Exactly.
And I try to keep that in mind with every player here. I keep going back to that example of Caitlin's character. She only notices shiny things. Yeah. She said that to me. I was like, let me make note of that.
Yep.
Because from now on, that's how I will play it.
We're going to capitalize on it.
Yeah, like, okay, you notice this guy. Why? Because he has something shiny on him. Right?
Exactly.
That way your character feels involved, you feel more part of it. And I never want to be that DM who will tell somebody, no, you can't do that.
It's hard. You don't want to do it.
Or at least if I'm going to say that, I should explain it and say, it doesn't make sense for your character to know this because of what you said in your backstory. Like she grew up in the forest, right? Sylvan grew up in the forest. Why would you know anything about city life?
Yeah, that's true. That's
right?
true.
You might have a +5 to history, but based off of where you grew up, you don't know anything about this. You grew up on the force the whole time. Like,
Exactly. One of the last questions I had for you as the DM now, it's when you see a person fail, like on a roll, and it's something that they wanted to win so bad, and they just keep failing. They keep failing. Like how is that turmoil going through you? Like for instance, on your last session, I wanted to do stuff. I wanted to do all these things, and my rolls were not happening, bro. They were not happening.
yeah, you were not rolling great. For me, I don't think of it as fail. I think it's more of how much can you learn about it.
Yeah.
If you fail, it's really you don't learn a lot.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you should stop investigating or stop trying.
Yeah. You still get a little piece of information.
Yeah.
And I like that you're still like, it's not saying like, oh, you don't learn anything. You're very much like, okay, this is what you know. You're taking the picture and you're like, you know that this painting has a couple people in it. Mm-hmm. And they're doing stuff. And then like the person that rolled higher, you're like, okay, you know that they're eating dinners and they're preparing food and stuff, and then someone who rolled really high, you're like, this one person's actually poisoning this other person. You're helping paint the picture bigger.
Yeah, and that's like, I like the context included into it too, of this is why you know this. Like having that extra bit of backstory of, okay, you rolled a 3, and I was like, that's hard. Like, yep, you see trees. Welcome to the forest, you see trees, right?
This place, it's mysterious and dark. Now I feel kind of scared, and I've never been in a place like this before, and I do know I shouldn't be out at night.
Mm-hmm. But the way I played that scene out for the rest of everybody else, I was like, well, actually, Caitlin and Novara and Sylvan grew up in the forest.
Yeah.
They're natives, so they should probably know. It's just how much they notice. And Novara's like, you notice the trees, and you notice that's a different setting. You know that they're alive, but you don't really feel anything different. There's nothing shiny that's catching your eye, right? Sylvan rolled a 23, I think. I was like, you're very clearly aware, like, the trees are alive. They are moving. It feels like they're watching you because they're alive. They just don't have eyes. Like, you know, yeah. And you could have gotten the same thing. It's just, how much of it did you observe?
Dice tell stories, man.
Yeah, the way to equate it is your perception. How many seconds did you spend looking? You spent 3 seconds and you're like,
moved on.
That's what I got, right? Whereas he took 23 seconds. It was like,
hyperfixation.
It is moving, yeah.
He knows the force. He knows what to look for. I don't know what to look for.
And so, like, the fail, I don't think it's fail. I think it's more of, okay, you might have been looking for something. There just wasn't enough evidence for what you were looking at to say, credibly, that's what happened. You
don't know what to look for, so you don't know what's going to pique your interest.
Right.
You don't know what to fixate on.
Or if it's like a science experiment, you observe for 10 seconds, maybe that reaction takes 30 seconds and you gave up.
That's a good way of putting it. That's a good metaphor. Yeah. Well, Alex, I'm so glad we get to have this talk. It's been way too long.
It's been a minute.
Way too long. And also with Tavern Talks in general, it's been too long since we've done it. We need to be doing this more.
I mean, we've got 2 campaigns going now.
2 campaigns going right now. I've been doing a little one-shot on another group as well that I don't do on camera. But it's taken over our lives, and I'm loving every minute of it. I love talking about it. I have people now asking me questions who are not part of the group. Or like they'll watch the channel and they're like, hey, I'm thinking about trying to do this. I want to play as well. I'm with a group. What should I get? What should I do? Like, that's the stuff that I live for. And I love talking about D&D.
Oh, for sure. I think we've played long enough now that I talk about stories about what's happened in our campaign.
Yes,
and that's when you know, like, got it. I love this because I am talking about this and saying, oh, yeah, this is what my group did. It's crazy. Kronk,
we just killed a dragon.
Yeah, and Kronk and Testes flew up its ass to do it. Like, explaining that to people and seeing the reaction as other players in their campaigns. It's cool trading war stories.
Yeah, it does. Well, I can't wait to see where your campaign goes through.
And I can't wait to see where your campaign goes through.
They're both gonna be killer. They're gonna be killers.
These are gonna be great.
Everybody
I'm excited.
Who's watched the campaign, watched the Tavern Talks.
Sorry, we are having technical difficulties.
Sorry for that. Everybody just heard. But everybody who's watching, all our followers that we're gaining, all the views that we're seeing, that means so much to us.
We really do appreciate all of it.
Any questions that you have or advice or things that you think we could do better, please just throw us a comment. Like, we read every single one. comment on every single one.
I try to like them. If you catch out my YouTube username,
Yep.
shout me out.
There you go. Shout us out. By all means, you just watching means the world to us. That's what it really means to it. And we're just enjoying you watching what we do and enjoying how we play the game. Well, this is Tabletop Masquerade. I'm Michael Davidson.
And I'm Alex Bolko.
We'll see you next time for another campaign or another Tavern Talk. We love you guys. See you next time.
Thank you, guys.